There is somebody who can be regarded as the father of modern South Sudan. It is General John Garang. His name resonates throughout South Sudan. His photo decorates the walls of many homes. It is here in the small village of Wangale, in the borough district of Jonglei State, that John Garang de Mabie was born on June 3, 1945. His birth brought joy to his parents, Dang Matayon and Nyabeth Garang. They were simple people living a traditional life in this remote part of the world. But destiny had bigger plans for their son. This caught the attention of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, which awarded him a scholarship to the prestigious Makerere University in Uganda. He set his sights on the University of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, where he delved into the world of African nationalist ideas. This period was a turning point for him, surrounded by fellow African students, scholars, and activists. Garang's perspective broadened, and his commitment to his homeland grew. The call of his homeland resonated within him, urging him to return to contribute to the ongoing struggle for independence. And so it was that the accomplished scholar decided to embark on a different path, one that led him back to Sudan and into the heart of the struggle for freedom. This marked the beginning of the Second Sudanese Civil War, a conflict that would last for more than 2 decades. Garang wasted no time in assuming command. In 1985, he led his forces in a tactical retreat, skillfully maneuvering to avoid complete annihilation. Then came the moment of hope in the midst of the struggle. In 2005, after more than 2 decades of relentless fighting, the war finally came to an end. Garang's influence extended beyond the realm of politics. He was a charismatic leader with a deep understanding of his people's culture and aspirations. Many looked up to him as a beacon of hope and a symbol of resilience. They mourned the loss of their leader, but they also celebrated his life and the immense contributions he had made to their struggle for freedom. Garang's death sparked widespread riots as people struggled to come to terms with the loss of their beloved leader. His life and death continued to inspire generations of South Sudanese to fight for justice, equality, and freedom. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and be sure to tune in next time for another exciting episode. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring the wonders of our amazing continent. Today, his statue stands tall in Juba, the capital of South Sudan, a constant reminder of the man who led his people through the darkest of times to the light of independence. But amidst the grief, there was a sense of pride. Garang's death was seen as a sacrifice in the ultimate pursuit of peace and unity. Even his critics acknowledged his strategic brilliance and his ability to unite disparate groups under a common goal. The Comprehensive Peace Agreement was signed, bringing an end to the Second Sudanese Civil War. On July 30, 2005, John Garang met his untimely demise in a helicopter crash in southern Sudan. He had been traveling from Nairobi, Kenya, where he had attended peace talks, when the crash occurred. The dream that Garang had nurtured for so long was finally realized. As the new nation came into existence, people across South Sudan looked up to the sky, knowing that their hero was watching over them. John Garang might have been gone, but his spirit lived on in the hearts and minds of his people. His death sent shockwaves across the country and the world. It was a devastating loss for a nation that had already endured decades of conflict. Garang's absence left a void in the hearts of his people. This strategic move prevented the destruction of the SPLA and kept the flame of the rebellion burning. Years later, in 1987, Garang's leadership was tested like never before. His troops suffered a major defeat at the Battle of Piber. Despite this setback, Garang's spirit remained unbroken. In an inspiring speech known as the Bring Your Head speech, he rallied his troops, urging them to keep fighting for their cause. This galvanized the SPLA, transforming them from a ragtag rebel force into a well-disciplined army. He became the leader of a new rebel force, the Sudan People's Liberation Army, otherwise known as the SPLA. Under his banner, Garang rallied the Nuer Shilluk, Dinka, and Bari communities, uniting them against a common enemy. Garang's dedication to his homeland and his unwavering pursuit of peace and justice had finally borne fruit. He played a pivotal role in shaping the agreement, ensuring that the rights of the people of southern Sudan were protected. He was invested in educating his troops, even designing and introducing a badge with the Arabic inscription. The pen is mightier than the sword to emphasize the importance of literacy and learning. He formed lifelong friendships with individuals who would later become prominent leaders across Africa, including Benjamin Mkapa, Tanzania's third president, and Jakaya Kikwete, its fourth president. There, Garang's thirst for knowledge knew no bounds. He pursued a bachelor's degree in political science, laying the foundation for his future contributions to his homeland. His quotes are etched in the hearts of the people, and his statues stand tall in the cities. But who really was this great man? What did he dream for his people? How did he sacrifice his life for the cause? He returned to the United States, where he first studied at Grinnell College, Iowa, earning a bachelor's degree in economics. His academic excellence continued as he went on to pursue higher degrees, ultimately achieving a PhD in agricultural economics from Iowa State University. Garang felt compelled to act. In 1972, he joined the Inyanya movement, a southern Sudanese resistance group actively involved in the First Sudanese Civil War. His military training equipped him with the skills to lead. When the fragile peace agreement was broken in 1983, he seized the moment. This is the story of General John Garang, the man who dreamed of a new Sudan. Welcome to this special series, Great Men of Africa, where we take a closer look at some of the most influential people in the history of our continent. Join me as we celebrate these great men and women who have shaped Africa and its people. Our story begins in the year 1945 in the heart of Africa. Imagine the vast plains of southern Sudan. His father passed away, leaving the family without a source of income. It was a place where dreams were nurtured and futures were shaped. It was here that John Garang's thirst for knowledge blossomed, and his potential began to unfold. The teachers recognized the spark in him and encouraged him to chase his dreams. And so, under their guidance, John Garang Damabia went from being an orphaned boy to becoming one of Africa's most brilliant minds. And soon after, his mother followed, too, succumbing to the hardships of their situation. Suddenly, young John found himself without any family, left to fend for himself in a world that seemed uncaring. But despite the bleak circumstances, something inside John Garang shone through. His natural brilliance could not be hidden. Tragedy struck when John was just 10 years old. At the age of 13, against all odds, he managed to gain a scholarship to study at Rumbek Secondary School. This was no ordinary school. He excelled in his studies, capturing the attention of those around him with his sharp intellect and unwavering determination. But John Garang's journey was far from over. The allure of academia still held strong, drawing Garang back to the classroom. However, despite the allure of his academic pursuits, Garang's thoughts were heavy with the plight of his people back home. It was during this time that the Civil War was at its peak, and Sudanese President Jaffar Numeri had launched the infamous Mayom massacre, targeting innocent civilians. Garang was sent to Burro to negotiate with disgruntled southern soldiers. However, instead of brokering peace, he joined them. As the war raged on, Garang's strategic brilliance came to the fore. The war was far from easy, and Garang's leadership was constantly challenged. But he stood firm, guiding his people through the darkest days. This accord not only marked a historic moment for Sudan, but also solidified Garang's legacy as a visionary leader. With the signing of the CPA, Garang's dream of self-determination for southern Sudan was realized. Sadly, this victory was short-lived. Despite the pain and sorrow, the people of southern Sudan were determined to honor his legacy. 6 years later, on July 9, 2011, South Sudan declared its independence. And so, General John Garang Damabia, revolutionary, visionary, martyr, a man who dreamed of unity and whose struggle gave birth to a nation. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Great Men of Africa.